Punters, you are watching the Mailbag. We're going to preview our first race meeting of the season from Moonee Valley Racecourse. We're going to have some track notes from Sam Tankard, a track walker. We've unfortunately had a few technical problems and not been able to get him on the stream or the show. Same goes for the Snowman. I've got the Snowman's notes at the end of the show. So you get what's happening from the hut there at Caulfield. We'll get the latest on the track, and that'll be attached to the show later on. Jonathan Walsh joins us from his mansion down there somewhere Bayside, and Pistol Pete from the penthouse in the city, and I'm down on the bay. Boys, how are we?
Doing our level best, just trying to get through, mate. I'll be spending a bit more time inside by the look of it today, for what's happened today, so better make the most of this.
Skyrocketed the cases is not looking good for us as a gambling sort of operation moving forward, and unfortunately it's going to mean more of a reliance on racing.com, which after yesterday, my mental health can no longer take the punishment that is watching their shit directionless telecast. I've got no problem, and I'm not bluing at all with the on-air talent and the people who we all consider to be racing.com. It's people behind the scenes who, for whatever reason, don't value the mounting yard. The amount they show the horses is inconsistent. And when you're sitting at home relying on it to pay the bills, the stress and anxiety that's causing me is sending me off the Richter. Yesterday there was a horse, number 11 in race 4. It was $11 into $6 from 9 a.m. They didn't even show at parade. The next race, the first three in the market was Shandy, Spirit Medium, and Paddy Payne horse, number 16 it was. Didn't show either in parade. All three, top of the market, didn't parade. It's absolute torture. I'm going to adjust the product that you guys get from me on a Saturday, the race-by-race stuff. It's going to be very different. I'm going to try something different because it's just killing me. But we're going to adjust and try and survive the rest of this COVID, which Jonathan, by the sounds of it, is going to keep going for a fair while.
Yeah, everyone's just going to have to do their bit and put their head down. But I mean, the people watching this and the people who are active on the social media platforms probably aren't the problem because they're aware. It's the people who are unaware and whatever else. Even if you do think it's a hoax or whatever else, the longer the hoax goes, the longer we're locked up. So just regardless of your opinion, put your head down, do what you're told. And, it'll make it easier, or it'll get us closer to getting back to normal. So there's some fucking idiots around which are causing issues for the general public who will do their best to get through.
It's got to keep punching. This show, as always, powered by Punting Form and Betfair and the Goat Lager, which I've had to have one because of the technical problems we've had, Peter. Peter probably needs one too. The show had a lot more sort of, we had a little bit more energy at the start of it. That was about 45 minutes ago. Walsh has kept us entertained. Hopefully you got another 35 left in your Walsh. We're going to focus on the quaddie legs at Moonee Valley, the rails in the true. We're going to talk about the track pattern via the notes attached to the show on Twitter. I expect it races on pace. It's Moonee Valley. That's sort of, I think, how you got to start each and every meeting at the Valley. You adjust when you see some evidence to do so. You boys have any other opinions?
Oh, the rail is in the true, so it won't be as mad on pace as it is on those Friday night meetings when it's out 6 metres. But, the general consensus with the Valley is get out and run, or at least be rolling off the camber on the corner. You've got to be moving.
Pistol?
No opinion for me. We'll start off, I'd say, look, more than likely it'll be like the inside half of the straight, so you want to be, within the first 4 or 5 lanes heading into the straight. But again, we'll just say, we're talking about the quaddie legs here, and from what I've gathered, it's a, shall we say, mediocre-looking card. Is that too harsh?
No, it's not harsh.
It looks a card where, like, you be on track, Professor, Peter Ellis, those sort of older blokes who come up to you and say this is more of a learning card. Don't sort of bet hard here today. There's a lot of sort of first up to now 3-year-olds, 2 horses returning, first day back at the Valley. It looks a really shitty betting card, but an interesting race card. You're going to learn a lot from this meeting, but I don't know I'm going to struggle to sort of push you in anything big here early on a Thursday. We're going to start with race 6, 1,200 metres. I think Wilmot Pass probably favourite. There's the synth holding up, comes the speed map. Any thoughts here, Jonathan?
I don't know how you've mapped this, but the maps I'm looking at from the punting form and the other not as applicable have got Wilmot Pass backing further back. I had Wilmot Pass. If they're positive on Wilmot Pass, it should be favourite. A couple of my mates are in Condos Express. It comes out of good form races. There's a heap of chances here, and the track pattern to see, as I said. Look, Wilmot Pass is the one I would be with, and I believe the maps that are out there at the moment. But for Wilmot Pass to win, it's going to have to be more forward, and from barrier 2, I think it can be.
I think there's too much speed in this race to confidently think that horse is going to be able to be like better than midfield, and it's priced like, yeah, it's going to be. Condos Express is a enigma. It had that like big sort of month and a half, and then hasn't really done anything since.
It wants a dry track, Condos too. So the weather outside at the moment's pretty good, but I've done this before, and then it's it's been a catastrophe of rain and hail after I've said, the weather looks good in Melbourne. But
I thought, like we've spoken about, like how shitty this sort of card is to bet at. This race, number 6 Rolling Moss looked well placed yesterday at Bendigo, and they scratched. It's the complete outsider in this race. It has to roll across from barrier 9. There is a lot of good speed, so Dwayne won't be able to go too slow, which will suit this horse. And if it is on pace, I can see this horse starting like $13, $10 even. They'll find it if it's on pace.
What about Titan Blinders come out first up last prep on Ballarat Cup Day? Like, there's a lot of them you can make case for.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be on pace and John Allen from barrier 10. Although John Allen on Zeppa yesterday, so I had a nightmare about it last night again. Like, what intent from the great man. It's just very rare, but it was just enough intent to just bend me right up in the snuff.
Well, this is a prime example of the card. Like, you make a case for a heap of them. If I'm forced to pick one, I'm picking Wilmot Pass from Condos Express. But if it's a heavy 8, well, that'll change again. And yeah, I'm only picking a horse for the sake of picking numbers.
Yeah, I'm tipping number 6 Rolling Moss. Peter, you got anything here?
I thought that last start form of Sir Kelleher actually was pretty decent, and I know Harry Grace isn't necessarily one of my jocks, but I mean, he doesn't have to do much to find the front here. And what looks a pretty tricky race, like the double figure quote, I could probably get entertained if we're seeing that pattern emerge on pace and inside half of the straight. So that's probably about it. Condos Express obviously had those really good Moonee Valley form races last prep, but I'd want to see a move for it before jumping into that horse. And I was happy enough to sort of angle around Wilmot Pass, just given the potential hazards the horse might come across as it's trying to get itself into some clear running. So,
and those of us who bet, if you do remember, Condos Express, I think the owners were left out there while she weren't there. First time it sort of exploded there at the Valley. It hemorrhaged about 30 minutes out from the jump, and I believe the owners didn't get the text, but enough people did to make a big dent in the market.
I'm not entirely sure about that at all.
I'm almost certain.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know where that comes from, but I'm not entirely sure.
Race 7, Cox Plate Trip, 2,040 metres. I don't mind this race. Anyone else got an opinion first?
Yeah, actually, this was, of the Quaddie leagues, this is one where I was happy to have a bet. I thought Miramar, middle draw, could sit on speed, $6.50 each way. I could happily have something little each way, Miramar.
Pistol?
No, just no. I tried to find angles here. There was no angles that I could really find. It was just driving me in circles, this race, to be honest. It was probably the race that I was least keen to even have an impression on.
I think the market's right, but I'm still... D-Lane first up is a bit risky, I think, but Polygrey was enormous, slaughtered an enormous last start. It was very good to start before. If the rain comes, I'm keener. I think it loves the wet ground. I want to see him ridden with him to ride it with some intent. But Muhammad Diaz, Snowy's got the horse is flying from last week. They will be positive, so it's going to land in the 1-1 from barrier 6. It's going to get run a race, Muhammad Diaz. I think the top two in the market are the two to focus on. Bedford SP like 30s last start. We tipped it on the fucking show and I didn't back it. It's nothing worse when these things win. I've had a strip and I'm getting all these positive messages from non-payers. Anyway, I still appreciate
non-payers.
Like show watchers, non-subscribers.
Oh, all right. Oh, geez, if I could list my non-payers on the show, I should go and get them. Actually, my non-payers have gone down through to. You can get them, but other bookies have got some. Anyway,
No. Anyway, it's just a torture that is punning. I thought the market's pretty good here. I was interested to see what you thought though, Pistol, with Sir Pippin. You were with it last start.
Yeah, that was more last start. It was due to the horse's previous figures at Flemington, whereas it doesn't really have that here at Moonee Valley. And I was pretty much happy to put a line through it. I don't think it'll be mapping as favourably here. And although it ran some okay splits towards the end, I thought it was pretty suited there last start at Flemington. So yeah, happy to leave it this time.
I think, on a skinny card, pretty keen that 1 or 7, Polygram, Muhammad Das will win here. Race 8, boys, is over 1,500 metres. Up comes all the usual stuff. Jonathan, thoughts here? I thought this race was maybe impossible.
I like it. You just disregarded. I hope Miramar wins just to stick it up here. And I gave Sir Pippin a fluke and chance at odds as well. So, and to give you an idea, my days, I just cannot back horses with bar plates as a general rule. But it did go super last start with the bar plate. The only horse I sort of come up with is probably the clear leader in Surreal Image. It's big odds. It has got barrier 1. It will be close to. It should lead. It's the one I'll be having something on. If I'm forced to bet, I'll be having something on. But when I say that, yeah, inevitably I will be having something on Surreal Images at relatively, should be double figures or more.
The early money for Skelm scares me a bit. Like pricks my ears up a little bit to that. Battle Talk. Snowy's Mail is the horse is flying, but they're worried the draw could scratch. I liked 5 Kingdoms a lot. I like the horse a lot. I listened to RSN this morning. I think Felgate might have had Ben Hayes on, and he sounded to me like it was just another run for this horse. They'll be neutral to negative. He'll probably hit the line. Look for it next start, 5 Kingdoms. So, yeah, just grey.
Yeah.
Pistol?
I was happy enough to have something small on Silent Command here. Draws pretty soft, good splits last start, has a good figure, track and distance. It's a pretty open race, but I thought quite a few of these didn't really look to be suited at all. There's a lot of horses that are just seemingly here for, as you said, the run around and coming out of unsuitable races last start. So that was the way I sort of angled here in race 8. But yeah, it's not a high confidence pick by any stretch.
Race 9, lucky last, 1,200 metres. This is complete chaos, this map. Good luck guessing how they're going to go here. I've done my best, but I'm not proud of what I've done. I've done it. I don't know how to make it any better. I'll just be forcing him into spots. Hope for some scratchings and a little bit more clarity on the map. There's a synth hold. Proper Rogue. Got some mail from Snowy again. Should settle better than midfield. 3rd up and close to peak fitness. Pretty good push. This horse hemorrhaged down at the Flemington Straight. Didn't go good, but it was very well back. The other horse that I do like, Proper Rogue here, from that good barrier. Sebricate's a horse I really, really like. I don't like barrier 1. But I think this horse is probably a fair bit better than most of these. Like, if you look at its last preparation, first up, last prep, ran 2nd to Bivouac.
Massive gear change.
Yeah, it's lost the cahoons, hasn't it?
Yeah, Sebricate, yep.
I just wish it was drawn like 5. You know, you can just see it like fifth pair of the fence. Last race at the Valley. I don't know, but I think it's the best horse in the race by a mile.
Yeah. Might get back. Look, I thought Sweet Snitty got a good match, and it's $27 or it's big odds anyway. So Sweet Snitty was the first one I sort of come to at a price. Proper Rogue can improve. It had one down the straight at Flemington. It's funny how horses can improve going around the circle. But it looked to handle Flemington, but I wouldn't be risking it. Hypersonic's wins were against lackluster opposition, and it did win well. But if it gets a run, I'd be prepared to risk its price.
They need 3 scratchings for it to get a run, so yeah.
Yeah, but if it gets a run, I was sort of prepared to risk it at the odds. Obviously, depending on how many scratchings they get.
And it's just an FYI, if you do bet early with the plastics, you'll notice that Sportsbet's got the best odds and everything. That's because they'll deduct like fully the scratching if the favourite came out here.
Yeah. $3, 33% of the market. But I don't know how exactly it's calculated, and that's why it's sort of.
So I'd be very careful betting this race. Is my advice if you're going to before. It's
deductions lotto. They've all got difference. I bought it up.
Theirs are the hottest goal of the lot, though.
Yeah, I don't care who's hot and who's not. They all need to be uniform, and all the deductions need to be the same across the board. Like, it's just, it's bullshit. Like, it's quite simple. Every punter needs to know, okay, because you just see punters flying up about it left, right and centre. If you know what you're getting into before you have a bet, you can't complain, and that's why it needs to be uniform.
Crystal?
Yeah, I mean, there's only 6 emergencies in this race at the moment. Like, it's just, as you said, how many emergencies do you need in one race? What's happening between now and Saturday where you're going to lose 6 horses?
Mate, don't speak too soon.
Yeah, remember it was us 3. We were at your other apartment, and the boys get paid guys were with us.
Yeah.
And I was saying this might be the last time we ever see each other for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And we were all laughing about COVID. That was the last time we laughed.
Yeah.
South Yarra, the beautiful South Yarra, great reception, fast internet. Last time we laughed. The Kiwis just got out of Australia. They came over for the All-Star Mile and didn't get to go, remember? They weren't allowed to congregate. They weren't allowed to congregate at the racetrack. They were allowed to go congregate at the casino in a confined, non-aerated one.
Yeah, that really hurt me. That was, not Golden Mile, All-Star Mile Day. And it would have been a nice day to work on track. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get those days back on track again. So, concerning.
Right. Well, yeah, to cut a long story short, I actually ended up with Sweet Snitty as well, which is just disturbing behaviour from me lining up with the Wish. I thought the first up form last prep was pretty decent, and the horse has an okay figure at Moonee Valley. As Wishy said, like, it should get itself into a pretty good spot. Proper Rogue I found on data, but just small query at the price with the stable at Moonee Valley. So I was happy to just sort of angle around that, but agree, like, if you just went off purely on what it did last start and what it's done so far this prep, it's trending like it's going to run a pretty big race, but there was just that small query there at the price. But, I mean, what is this field? Just please remove a third of it.
Look at these prices, like if you're trying to convert someone new to the sport, right? They're looking at this and they go, Proper Rogue, $3.60 across most corporates. Oh, hang on, it's $6 at Sportsbet.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it.
It just needs to be uniform. It's bullshit. It's what they bought in the decimal odds, which was, pre-Peter and probably pre-yourself. Like, I remember going to the races as a kid with, 11-4, 9-2, all that sort of stuff.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but they bought in decimal odds to make it
makes
easy.
More sense when you start talking about small, medium and tall grades.
Yeah, well, did you watch that Snyder doco I put up? I think I
might watch it tonight though.
That will
I've been watching that Amazon thing on the cricket.
You got Amazon as well. I have to budge that off you. Already budged the KO. I might as well budge the Amazon as well.
Mate, I'm telling you, with Racing.com's just inept coverage of the mounting yard, I'm tightening things right up. I'm going to cut Disney away. That's no good.
How many you got?
And Stan's no good. Going to be Netflix, KO, and Amazon. Amazon's good. I'm tipping it.
Yeah, I bought a new iPad the other day, and I can't log on to the Apple because I've got a Sony TV. It's a and it won't go through the Google Chrome thing or whatever you call it, the thing you plug in the back of your TV and the other TV. Yeah, it's got touched. Apple touched me again.
Peter, I've got the track update from Sam. Should I try and read it out?
Yes, go for it.
Just to cap off probably our worst show. Oh. G'day, mate. Track will be a soft 5, even if upgrade to a good 4 Saturday. I'd still expect it to race more like a soft track as it holds more moisture this time of year. Lanes 1 to 5 are fresh ground, no wear, as hasn't been raced on since March. Lanes 6 plus have more pronounced wear from a recent heavy track. I'm expecting it to be pretty even early, with a minor preference for lanes 3 to 5 as they have some minor compaction from machinery. After about 4 races, I'd expect lane 1 to start to break up and lanes 2 to 5 to become the bigger advantage. Can win 6 plus later in the day, but would expect you need to be coming out of lanes 2 and 4 off horses' back rather than making wide sustained runs 6 plus. Those horses stalking the speed to midfield with momentum in the straight in lanes 3 to 5 will be best suited as the day goes on. Blah, blah, blah. Makes sense. That's good.
Yep.
Very Valley track.
Thank you, Sam. We really appreciate it. Anything else from Snowy before I forget? Jabali Ridge earlier in the day had a lovely tick over trial, and Mick Price came each way, and believe the horse was, what's that, Lee Stayer up in Sydney, Pete? High opinion, wet, loves the wet. Obviously, up in Sydney, it's all you get, so it's going to be suited. The stable's keen, high opinion up there in Sydney. Do we even want to... because of Racing.com, I'm going to protest and not supply best value on a lay. They've destroyed my soul.
Right. I'm happy to bet. The horse I want to back, I can't work out. It's either going to start $1.60 or drift out the gate. Brooklyn Hustle is clearly the best horse in the race. With a clear run and if right, it should be $1.60. So best of the day, race 4, number 4, Brooklyn Hustle. Happy to back Miramar in race 7 each way, on an each way basis, race 7, number 4. And as I said, if Hypersonic gets a run and runs around at the odds that's listed at the moment, it'd be the one I'm happy to take on in the last.
All right, are you allowed to go fishing still?
I'm allowed to go fishing in my postcode, and thankfully Kingston Shire is takes in a fair bit of the bay, but I don't. You're apparently allowed to go fishing within reason.
All right, I'll make a bet with you.
Yeah.
I think Phil the Flute's good, big odds in that Brooklyn Hustle race, but in race 7, I'll take Polygray and Mahatma Deus versus Miramar and the field. All right, you're Miramar field. I'm Polygray and Mahatma Deus. If one of those two win, we go fishing. You have to bait my hooks all day long.
I'd have to bait your hooks anyway. So hold on. I've got the field, and you've got Polygray and which
Mahatma Deus, yeah.
Mahatma Deus.
If they win, I'll bait your hooks.
I won't catch a fish if you're baiting me.
Well, what do you want?
I don't want anything. It's just the glory. Look, so you want Mahatma Deus is $5.50, so that's less than 20% of the market, and Polygray's $4.40. So that's about right. So I've got the field. We'll work it out.
When he says that's about right, punters, that means I've got about 40, 45%. He's got a little edge. He's happy. He's done the numbers.
No, that's not on the fair numbers. That's about a 50-50 split, though, when you sort of add them up and bring it down. And maybe a slight edge my way, but I don't want to tell you that on air.
Peter, do you want to have a bet?
Check the link below. With me. You want to bet? What are we betting on?
Well, give me something. I'll find something.
North Melbourne's playing Adelaide this week. You want to get involved with that?
Well, I reckon Adelaide's a chance.
All right. Well, I'll back my team North with Majak Dorback, the feel-good story of the week.
I want the handicap though. Adelaide would be getting like 3 goals, wouldn't they?
I don't think so. Can't be that much, can it?
Surely.
They're both pretty bad.
I was going to say, if North Melbourne are playing Majak's had a broken hip, and he couldn't, even at his peak fitness, he was nowhere near a stand. They must be a bit light on players.
Yeah, exactly. I should get a handicap.
And that's not talking about, but you got a bloke with a broken hip and severe injuries.
Adelaide have got 10.5 points. I'll take 10.5 points.
What are we playing for?
Yeah.
So limited with the COVID, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not taking.
Uber Eats on my card or Uber Eats on your card? I'll shout you and Barker, or you shout me and Ems.
That's pretty dangerous.
Wow, tell him I'm in front of him with the lunches, and I see how much he won on the cricket. So he used to look after me if not.
No, actually, here I've got a bet for you, right? If the field wins, in my bet, right, you must sit down and watch that Snyder documentary and report back on next week's show. If your bet wins, you can pick something for me of similar, like, you can make me watch something that I wouldn't watch, like bet on the fucking NBA or the golf or something ridiculous like that for about an hour.
If my two win, I'm going to get driven to your house with like 12 or 18 goats. I'm going to sit in the boat. And you're going to load my fishing rod. I'm going to hang off the edge and just drink and listen to like music and go, Jonathan, I think I got a bite. Can you have a look? Jonathan, I think I got a snag. Can you have a look?
Well, if I want you to watch that Snyder Alien from end to end.
Deal, done.
Yeah, right.
All right, anything else we should do, boys? What a show. What a shit show,
yeah.
Look, we're trying to do our best, guys. It's a hard meeting. Life's hard at the moment. Don't want to complain. A lot of people are doing a lot worse, but fuck it. Just can't be bothered.
I spoke to a mate of mine the other day. You like this? When I said this week, so I said, how you going? And he said, we got cut from 4 days a week, but I'm back down to 5 and getting this and getting that. And he goes, geez, I put on some weight in the lockdown, man. I said, oh, yeah. And I said, yeah, shit, same here. He goes, yeah, I'm 104 kegs. I'm like, I've put on probably 14 kilos in lockdown. So I feel good about myself. I only put on 5.
Oh, 5.
It is a hard time. He goes, I've got kids working from home. It's great, but I'm drinking more. Kids are driving me insane. No time in the car. But there is some people doing it tougher than that out there for sure. But as I said, if we can, I don't know if I'm a believer, non-believer or not, but I just need it to finish. So if I need to wear a mask and pull my head in for a few weeks for it to finish, so be it.
Don't you reckon, though, like, if the aliens existed, why wouldn't they just get off their asses right now and help us?
Might be an alien disease and they're not telling us. You all right there, mate?
I needed that. Thanks, man. All right, guys, that's the mailbag. What we've got the Sportsman's Double, and there's another AFL. What's the AFL thing called, Peter?
It's just the 20 days in a row, 33 games or whatever it is.
33 games in 20 days as a special pack for Cam Dean, who absolutely filled up on the weekend. He's hitting his straps. It's very tight, very smart wagering. Big over as an unders man, obviously, which I find interesting. Top ropes betting. Curly's flying. Curly filled up yesterday. Big result at Doomben. Scurry, the only one on the team who's on track. God bless him. Very jealous. Lots of product. Get involved. Support the team. And have a great weekend. Do your best.